These are the following things that you are going to learn as part of lesson 3. Understanding the classes and objects. Simple programs we will see which has single public class in Java file. A Java file can have any number of classes, but we are going to see simple example with one public class. Point number 3, creating and using objects. There we'll end up lesson 3. First one, understanding classes and objects. This part is very important. Please listen carefully. Suppose you want to construct a house, a 3-bedroom independent flat. Before you construct a house, you should have a proper planning, also called as designing for the house. For the 3 bedrooms, where the bedroom should be, stair hall, and these small things. This is what you call as designing, which usually done by an architect. To bring this designing to reality, you need to buy sufficient land, cement, bricks, and you need to hire workers for construction purpose. Finally, the designing becomes a reality. I'll slowly take this example to the Java programming classes and objects. The design that you have used for constructing a house is very much similar to class, and the house that is constructed based on this design is called as object. When you have a design, there is no restriction that you have to construct only one house. You can construct any number of houses, and each house will have definitely 3 bedrooms and the same similar kind of design. Alright, coming to the point of Java programming, when there exists a class, you can create any number of objects for a particular class. It's always obvious that you cannot construct a house or a building without a plan, without a design. In the same way, you cannot create an object without a class. That's all, guys. This is what, if you have understood this simple example, then probably now onwards you should start loving to learn Java programming. I will slowly take you to the proper syntax of Java. So we are at an intermediate level now. Look at here, you can see the 2 boxes here. These 2 boxes here, I'm going to show you the class, and here I'm going to show you an object. The formal definition of class is a combination of data variables plus member functions. Data variables means they are memory locations in which we store the data or the value that is required for our logic, for our operation. Data variables has to be declared using data types. Here, int. I have used 2 data variables to demonstrate this class. Let us imagine the name of this class is demo. In demo, I am using 2 variables called as a and b. The data type of a is int, the data type of b is float. And I'm also using one member function called as sample. Sample is the member function. So coming to the point, what is a function? A function is a block. It is simply a block. From this open brace to close brace, it's a block. A block of statements, a block of executable instructions that perform a specific task. For an example, addition of 2 numbers or finding a factorial of a given number. This is a particular task that can be kept in one particular block and be called as a function. In detail about data variables, data types, member functions, we'll be learning very soon in the upcoming lessons. This is the very first lesson relating to programming. So the place where I wanted to start programming. Here, I cannot spend too much time in demonstrating data types or member functions or parameterized member functions. I can't spend much time. As of now, I created one small demo class with 2 variables, a and b, and one member function called as sample. Okay, I repeat, demo is a class now which has 2 variables, a and b, and a function called as sample. Now coming to this box. In this box, I'm going to create objects. Not 1, 3 objects. O1, O2, O3. You should have already understood to create an object, you require a class. To construct a house, you always require a design. In the same way, to create object O1, O2, O3, this is based on this class demo. Meaning that whenever you have created O1, O2, O3, so in our previous example, we have constructed 3 houses based on a design. Each house has 3 independent bedrooms. I mean, inside we have a constructed house for 3 bedrooms. So if you have constructed 3 houses, then each house will have 3 bedrooms in it. In the same way, you have created 3 objects O1, O2, O3. O1, O2, O3 will have independently AB, the variables AB and sample function. In the same way, O2 will have AB as well as sample function, AB and as well as sample function. Officially, object is nothing but it is an instance of a class. It holds the complete memory. So for an example, O1 holds the complete memory of a class. O2 holds the complete memory. O3 has its own independent complete memory. Alright. Now, whenever O1, O2, O3 has their own properties like A, B and sample, how to access them? Accessing the properties are done using dot operator. Here I am highlighting, you see. For an example, if I wanted to access the variable A using O1, then I should use a dot operator like this. O1 dot A. In the same way, O2 dot B, meaning that I am accessing B of object 2. O3 dot A, I am accessing A of object 3. I'm making a function called demo, O1 dot demo, O3 dot demo. Of course, in our example, it is sample. So I should, in case of sample, I should make it as O1 dot sample, O3 dot sample. Now coming to the syntax of creating a Java class, this shows the syntax. Here, this is an example using this syntax. First of all, we will see the syntax. In this syntax, you can create a class with any name, like as in the way like I've shown sample or demo, that is the class name. This class is a keyword that is compulsory. This is called as access modifier. Typically the access modifiers for the class are public, default, private, protected. The details about access modifier will be taught in the upcoming lessons. As of today's lesson, I'll be using an access modifier public. So I'll be creating a public class, meaning that I'll be creating a public class. So as in the way a class had an access modifier, in the same way a variables can also have an access modifier, like public int a. Alright. In the same way, every function can have its own access modifier. Access modifier, the return type of the function. It means that whether function is returning anything back to the calling function or not. That is return type. Basically, the return types could be void, int, char, float, etc. It depends upon the type of data that you are going to return back. And the function name. So typically the function names are sample, demo, these small things. Right. So this is the place where you will write the logic. As soon as you complete the function, you will say the end of the function, and here is the end of the class demo. This is the way that you need to create a class. Access modifier, class name. Write what are the variables that you want, declare what are the functions that you want, and end of the class. This is the syntax. Now we will see one simple example following this syntax. Public, class. Public is the access specifier. Class is a keyword. Demo is a class name. Public is the access specifier. Int a is the variable. Float b is the variable. Public static void main. This is a main function. You will come across about this function, each and every keyword. Now you don't know what exactly the static is. There will be a separate lesson on static data members and member functions. At that point of time, you will understand why static keyword is used. And this string a is called as an arguments. So you can pass arguments while executing this program. This entire line, the meaning of this entire line that you will learn in the upcoming lesson, you don't have to worry. Now as part of this lesson, you just try to understand this is a main function. In case if you know already C language, you might be knowing what exactly the main function is. What is the actual importance of main function in C language? The same importance we had in the Java program. So always the execution always starts from the main function. So here is the end of the function. Here is the end of the class demo. So here what I wanted to show you is very simple. This is a syntax how to create a class, and this is an example how the syntax is being used. Very important points to remember. You can create any number of classes in Java file. For each class, you can create any number of objects. You can have any number of classes in your Java file, but probably there could be only one public class. The execution of Java file starts from main function. Main function should be written in public class. A public class with main function is also called as main class. The name of the public class with the main function and the Java file should be the same. For an example, if demo is the public class name, then you have to name your Java file as demo.java, because Because during compilation, after successful compilation, a bytecode will be generated. That means a binary executable. The name of that bytecode will be the name of the public class. So to avoid the conflict, rather than giving some different name to your Java file, it's always better to give the name of the public class to avoid the conflict, because you are going to execute the bytecode which is based on public class name. So it's better you always name your Java file the name that you already had with the public class. Good. All these points are very, very important. You please remember them, and you need not to by heart them, you need not to mark them. Okay. In practice, we'll be applying each and every line. In this lesson, I'll be using one function called as println. That function is standard output function in Java. If you wanted to display something on the console output screen, then this function is used. Basically, the function name is println. Within this double quotes, whatever you write, that will be displayed on the screen. For an example, your name, your roll number, your college name, your city name, your country name, etc. The full syntax is like this: system.out.println. So in system, S is capital, that is compulsory as per the rule of Java. What is system? It is a class name. What is out? This is object name. What is println? This is method. So this method is called using an object reference. This object belongs to a class called as system. So you'll come across a concept called as packages in Java in very short in the upcoming lessons. There you will understand how this sequence is written with dot operator. Alright. So if you wanted to display hello world on the screen, then this is the way that you need to write this println function: system.out.println hello world. For an instance, if you wanted to display the value of variable a, let us imagine that you have declared a variable a and the value that you have defined to that a is 50, and you wanted to display that value of a is 50. To do that, system.out.println the value of variable a is, there you have to stop. So your double quote stopped here, and you need to use a concatenation operator called as plus followed by the identifier name. For the identifier, you should not use double quotes. If double quotes are used, then probably you will see the output as the value of variable a is a. But you have to print the value of variable a is 50 to tell println function that a is not a string. It is the identifier of a variable or something that is used within the program. To tell that, you should not use double quotes. That's why this is written outside the double quotes. And these two are combined using a concatenation operator. That's it. These two types of println functions are most widely used throughout the programs. Now we are done with the first point. We understood what is class and what is object, and probably we also have seen the syntax that is used to create class. Right, now we'll see simple programs with a single public class in Java file. In lesson 1, I already used one small program which is very much similar to this program. So here the left part is a program, the right part is output. Upon execution of this program, you will see this output. So here I have taken one public class demo, public static void main strings. It's a very simple, directly one single statement I have written: system.out.println hello world. Here, as part of my logic is construct, I just wanted to display hello world on the screen. So to do this, I need not to create any user-defined objects. That's why within this program, I did not create any object. But during execution of this particular program, okay, since it's a class, it's a public class, the execution always starts from the main method. JVM, that is Java Virtual Machine, will initiate automatically this class. That means we'll create an anonymous object during execution by printing this on the output on the console screen. Alright. So the point I wanted to tell you is that here I have used only one simple public class. Within this class, I have written a main method. Within this main method, I have written a println and I have closed the class as well as the function. So there is no purpose of creating user-defined functions in order to print just simply hello world on the screen. That's why I haven't created any user-defined objects in this particular class called as demo. For the class called as demo, I did not create any object because there is no purpose. We'll see another simple program. In this program, I have created a variable called as a, and I have initialized a with a value 50, and I wanted to display the value of A is 50. So as I demonstrated in my previous section, the value of A is A. In order to print like this, I kept this, the value of A is within this double quote, and I concatenated the identifier with the symbol called as plus. So this is the output that you will be seeing once after successful execution of this program. And in lesson 1, I told you how to execute the program. There are two ways. You can directly write the program in the text editor and use javac and java command for compilation and execution. But that is not a right way. But having an IDE like NetBeans or Eclipse is a good thing. Throughout our lessons, I already told you that we will be using an Apache NetBeans IDE for executing our programs. So make sure that you already had Apache NetBeans in your computer to work out the upcoming assignments or the programs that we are going to do as part of this course. Now coming to the very important aspect, creating and using objects. So far, we understood what is class and what is object, and we have seen the syntax of creating class. And we have also seen the syntax of println, that means standard output method. Now, if we know how to create an object and the syntax for creating an object, then we can start writing Java programs. Beautiful. Let's start. So to create an object, this is the syntax. An object has to be created for a class, so that you already know. So this is the class name. This is the object name. This is the object name. This is the class name. This is the object name. Object name can be anything. It's up to you. Anything, any name. Equals to new class name parenthesis. Okay. There is a concept called as constructor. That concept will tell you, at that particular point of time, you will better understand everything that is related to classes and objects. But now I can't introduce constructor. Constructor is used to initiate an object. Okay, so this is one type of constructor. So I'm using parenthesis, just like a function. Okay, right. So here you are seeing one highlighted keyword called as new. New keyword is used to allocate memory. During creation of object, we use this keyword called as new. So to create an object, a new operator is used. Okay, so it is just like a keyword or an operator. You can name it whatever you want, but this is used to create an object. Right. This is the syntax: class name, object name equals to new, your class name, parenthesis, close it. That's all. So this line will create an object for you. Any number of objects you can create it. So I wanted to demonstrate one beautiful example. So high sophisticated example which will clear everything in your mind now. Okay, so it will give you a shape that a feeling that you understood the classes and objects. Look at here. I'm going to create a bank class in which I'm going to take, you know that class is a combination of variables and member functions. This is the variable. These are the member functions. Functions performs a specific task. Look at here. This is a balance variable. These are the functions. Functions in a bank. What are the functions, or what is the variable that is related to bank? Is balance. These are the functions that are related to the bank class. What are the functions or operations that are usually carried out by a customer in a bank? Opening an account, deposit, withdrawal, check balance. During opening an account, a customer will specify the amount. That is the initial amount that with that particular amount, the customer is allowed to open an account. A customer is allowed to deposit any amount, is allowed to withdraw any amount, is allowed to check the balance at any point of time. So this is a bank class for which I have created two classes, object 1, object 2. Object 1, who are objects for the bank class? Obviously customers, right? Obviously customers, right? So C1 is customer 1, C2 is the customer 2. This is object 1, this is object 2. Better I'll call this as customer 1, this is customer 2. When you have created C1, C1 has acquired balance, and C1 can implement all, C1 can access all these functions or member functions. Now let us imagine C1 has opened account, that means executed this method with 500 bucks and then deposited 400 bucks. It means that if now I check the balance for C1, then C1, the customer customer 1, that means C1, should have the balance of 900 bucks. Coming to C2, C2 has opened the account with 500 bucks. And then C2, for some reason, C2 has withdrawn 200 bucks. Now if I check the balance for C2, then the balance should be 300 bucks. Now we are going to implement these functions. Open account, deposit, withdraw, check balance. Very simple. You have a variable called as balance. The moment any customer opens the account, you will assign this amount that is specified by the user to the balance. And the moment that any customer wants to deposit, then they'll specify amount in this parenthesis. This value will pass, and this will get passed to this particular function, and this amount I'll just add with the existing balance. And in the same way, if a customer wants to withdraw, then I'll subtract the amount specified by the user from the balance. At any point of time, if I wanted to show the balance, I'll simply write system.out.println the variable name balance. That's all. Now we'll see the entire program for this one. Look at this program. This is a class that I have written. So the class started here, class ended here. 5 minutes down, we are going to complete this particular lesson. Please, this is ending. I need your concentration. I hope you are watching, right? You are watching, right? Good. So you have a variable called as balance. Good. Now this is a function, open account, okay, deposit, withdraw, check balance. These 4 functions we are implementing. Very simple. As soon as any customer wants to open a function, they'll specify that amount. That amount comes to this particular variable called as amount. This amount I'm initializing to balance. Okay. So if amount specified by the user is 500, this 500 is initialized to the variable called as balance. Now balance is 500. So in the same way, if a customer wants to deposit, customer will specify some amount. That amount will be stored in the variable called as amount here, and that amount will be added to balance. The whole will be updated to the variable called as balance. In the same way, in case of withdraw, the amount will be subtracted from the existing balance, and the same will be updated to the balance. The moment I wanted to check how much balance is left over, I'll execute this check balance using a function called as system.out.println. So balance in your account is, I'll close that parenthesis, I'll use a concatenation operator plus, and I write the variable name balance so that the balance will be displayed. Now coming to this part. This part is very, very important. Here you are going to create objects. So as shown in the previous example, there are 2 objects, C1 and C2, 2 customers, in fact, C1 and C2. They are created inside the main function. This is a public class with a main function. Always the execution starts from the main function. The moment the execution starts, the C1 is created and C2 is created for the bank class. Once after C1 and C2 is created, I need to open the account. So C1.openAccount 500 bucks, C2.openAccount 500 bucks. Both C1 and C2 opened their accounts with 500 bucks. C1 deposited 400. That means that C1 executed a method called as deposit by passing a value called as 400. And C2 executed withdraw with 200. And afterwards, C1 check balance, C2 check balance. After executing this complete program, I should see the output as C1's balance should be 900 bucks and C2's balance should be 300 bucks. Come, let's execute this program in Apache NetBeans and close this lesson. Alright, this is our program. What exactly the program that I have shown? I simply use the same program in NetBeans. Now we'll execute this program. So this program is already executed by me. So once again, we'll execute this one. Look at here. Balance in your account is 900. 900 bucks is related to C1. Balance in your account is 300. That is related to customer C2. So this one. Okay. The exact program, whatever I have shown you, I have executed exactly with the same values. This is Apache NetBeans. Hope you have already installed it. Please try the same program with the same set of functions of your own. And in the upcoming lessons, slowly get into the programming.